This is the Nireeka Homie e-bike. Let me tell you the story about how I ended up with this bike. So Ashley just bought an e-bike. I did a video on that, which in turn made me need one. With us living out of the truck behind me, I wanted a little bit of a different means of transportation so I don't have to pack up the campsite every time I want to go leave. So I started shopping for an e-bike and I ended up finding this one. This is actually the cheapest full suspension carbon fiber e-bike that you can find, coming in around $2,000. It's crazy budget. I was doing some research on it and I priced this one out, put it all together. So it's got the upgraded screen, upgraded motor, upgraded battery, and I messaged them and they actually gave me a discount, gave me $200 off for getting this bike because I'm a YouTuber. So I was doing some price checking, making sure I could afford this bike. It's not a cheap date. It's about $2,800, spec'd out how it is right here. So as I was doing research, I was having a few drinks and I wanted to see what the tax would be and the shipping all together. As I was working my way through the cart, I accidentally hit buy and then I ended up ordering it. So a little bit of oopsie on my part, but whatever. Ended up with a pretty cool bike. They told me to get this bike built, it would take about 2 weeks, and then have it shipped would take about another month. Well, I started getting a little bit nervous when I was already in the month-and-a-half mark and the bike wasn't built. The website has this cool feature where they show you the whole build process along the way. It's kind of like ordering a Tesla of e-bikes. I could sit there and I kept watching it be built. But as time went on, I started getting more nervous and I started doing some research on this company. And a lot of people were claiming that this is a scam company and that they had to return orders. Basically, this company started out as a Patreon thing and they took donations to build these bikes. Long story short, some people got the bike, some people had to wait super long. Basically, everyone got the bike, but the wait period was way longer than anticipated, which it happened around the big C word. I don't think I can say that on YouTube, but the virus thing. Anyways, it happened around that time, so there was a bunch of waiting and parts missing, and basically everyone got their bike, but I had to wait a long time. I was nervous. I ended up getting my bike. I did have to wait probably about a month longer than I wanted to. The bike came and it looks great. I'm sure you guys are interested in the specs. I know I don't talk about bikes too much on the channel. They don't do too well, but I was really upset with the lack of content on this bike when I was trying to buy it. I'm gonna be the guy who makes a little bit of content on this brand. I'm not affiliated with the brand at all. Let's go ahead and hop in the specs because that's what I care about. On to the specs of this bike here. This is the large frame, 27.5-inch tires, full carbon fiber. I love the way that sounds. It's got 180 mil suspension on the front. I think 80 mil suspension in the back here, X Fusion in the back, some no-name stuff up front here. Shimano hydraulic brakes, Shimano Dior shifter with a 1x10 setup. This probably doesn't mean anything to the normal people who watch my channel, but any people that are in the bikes out there, this might be helpful. What else does it have? Has a 1x10 setup. I already said that, but I'll circle back to it. A 500 watt motor, and then it has a 672 watt hour battery right in here. This is the throttle. This is the controller with the screen and everything. I put about 20 miles on it so far, testing out. It's been pretty good. I'll talk about some issues I had, but I think the next step is we need to go for a ride.
You ever take it off any sweet jumps? Got like 3 feet of air that time.
As you guys can tell here, I'm on the Nireeka Homie. Pretty awesome name. And it's an e-bike, but I don't even have to have it turned on. It runs very well. Like you can tell, the screen's off here. It just runs really good. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. I haven't figured out how to make this wind noise any better. But with this bike being a full carbon fiber bike, it only weighs about 47 pounds. That's very loud. Like I said though, this bike only weighs about 47 pounds. That's not much heavier than a normal bike. So if the battery died, I would be able to use it pretty easily like a normal bike. You're gonna hear the noises that I was talking about in this. Hear how it's all clicky and clunky. Now I don't know if that's a full suspension issue or the carbon fiber just is a little clunky. That's kind of what I've learned to deal with this bike. Makes some noise. As you guys can tell though, bike is still off. I'm just pedaling up this hill. Pedal's good, shift's good. Once we get up here though, I'll go ahead and turn on the bike. All right. So, to turn on the bike, you just gotta hit this button right here. And now it's on. There's a few different settings here. I have it on 1 usually. I don't ever take it off of it. We'll put it on 5 for the video. And I'll show you guys how it works. It's fast. It does have a throttle. It's quick. Woo! Okay. This is just throttle. I haven't pedaled at all. Okay, I just let off the throttle. I'm already doing just about 30 on just the throttle. The problem is with the throttle, it'll end up dying way faster. So I don't ever really use it, especially with it being in 5. But it's pretty cool that you can do that. You can hear that motor turn on. And now I'm helping it and I'm pedaling with it. It's pretty fun. I haven't used many mountain bike trails, as I don't know how well it'll handle actual mountain biking. Because the fork on the front here has a sticker that says not made for downhill free ride. So that's a disappointment, as this is advertised as being a e-mountain bike. But I'm gonna have this bike for a while, so if it snaps, it's whatever. The frame does have a lifetime warranty on it. Now I don't know how easy it is to get a hold of them. Look at that Toyota. That's sick. Pretty clean. Anyways, like I said, I don't know if this company is hard to reach out to, if this frame would ever break. The battery and the motor have about a year warranty or so, I think. Cool that they offer that, but like I said, I don't know how good they are with handling it. Also, wanted to bring up the fact that when you get a bike off the internet, it's not really tuned for you. So I'm about 6 foot and weigh about 220 pounds. So the air suspension had to be adjusted to about what I weigh. So the rear suspension had to be adjusted and hold about 215 pounds I put in it. And the front fork, for me, I put about 110. And it seems pretty comfortable. And one issue I don't like is I wish the rear suspension had a lockout. It's a shame that it doesn't. Yeah, you can really get going pretty quick on this. It's pretty fun. It's advertised as a range of between 50 miles, between 30 and 50. But it really just depends how you're riding for that. So as you can see, I have it in 5, and it's kind of just eating up the battery here. But in 1, I went, I'll put it down on 1 now. I had it in 1, and I did 17 miles in 1, and only used about 20% of my battery. So with that standard, it would probably use about 80 miles before it killed the battery if I would ride it on 1. Now that seems pretty high to me. I would say I should expect, if I leave it in 1 and pedal and not use the throttle, I would expect to see about 50 miles of range out of this charge. Seeing how I'm at 21.8 now. I was throttling, messing around in 5 there, and it's at 55. I think 50 miles is a pretty good estimate. I'm really impressed with how, I mean, see, it's in 1 right now, and I think it's very fast. And the hubs in it roll very nicely. I will say with the geometry set up how it is, the front end is a bit darty. Brakes work pretty good. You can upgrade them. I didn't get the upgraded brakes. I probably should have, but I figured if I wanted to, I could just upgrade them myself. They seem to work very good. I mean, we stopped with really no issue. I didn't want to do that to the back tire. Oops. And rear suspension like to soak up the bumps pretty good compared to my other mountain bike. It did have a rock shock fork in the front, but this does feel a bit nicer on these bumps. Some of the issues I had with this bike after unboxing it, it did come straight from China. They don't let you know that's a Chinese company, by the way, but yeah, straight from China. The frame is, it shipped via freight over a boat. That's why it took so long. Luckily it came here. It wasn't damaged or anything. I had to assemble a little bit. I had to put the tire on and the handlebars, and there was a little bit of stuff that was loose. So for example, the handlebars, they put all the grips on and they put the brake levers on and the shifter levers. They didn't have them set up the right way, so I had to loosen them up and then bend them in the right way to make sure the geometry of the bike was correct. Second problem I had, the bottom bracket down there was a little bit loose. So as I was pedaling, I was hearing a clunking noise. It sounded really bad. And I realized that they just didn't tighten up good enough. After that, it's been pretty good. The full carbon fiber frame is a little loud sometimes, just with the way the material is. And this whole piece down here is carbon fiber too. So as you, well, if you hear that a little bit, it makes a little bit of noise. Other than that, this is my first carbon fiber bike. I'm pretty impressed with it. As always, do me a big favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It means a ton to me. We're on a road to 10,000 subscribers. We're so close. Not really, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Let me know in the comments of what you think about this bike. If you want more bike content on the channel, I just like to sprinkle it in there because it's a big hobby of mine, but I don't really want the whole channel based around it. I don't, not many people watch this kind of stuff. Let me know in the comments of what you think about this bike. If you think e-biking is cheating, I always thought it was, but it's pretty good time. Check this video out right here. It's pretty good, and I'll see you in the next one.